fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Deku. And well, Melissa, she overheard a conversation Deku was having with Yoichi Shigaraki in the kitchen. Now, Deku was learning the rest of a story he was having a dream about, and it was quite interesting to him. Apparently, All For One used to go to therapy. Clearly, that did not work out. Now, Melissa, she did walk into the kitchen whenever Deku talked about how he didn't want to make people sad whenever he does die. So he's acting emotionally detached towards many. Now, this actually did somewhat tick Melissa off, since this guy clearly doesn't understand what it is to really be human. Now, this is where Deku, he did go out for a walk at night, and Melissa, she did follow him. Now, we will actually cut up to the sports festival for UA, and the amount of time that has passed, let's just say, has been about a week since that conversation. Now, we actually do have Deku, where he is just shadowing places and staying out of sight. Deku doesn't have a front row seat, but he will be watching in the stands the sports festival. Now, this is all quite interesting, since Deku, in this amount of time his power has grown. Deku, he's gone from 27% to, after his experience with Nomu, running that up to 30% to, let's just say, 35. So, that does mean that if he does push his body to its physical limit, with amping it up by 20% more, Deku can go to 55% of full cowling with immense or the max amount of strain he can put on his body. Now, Deku, he has also tried to learn more about Fajin in this time, and it has been very helpful. Now, Deku, he did just watch as the sports festival was starting, and you did actually have where he did see the announcement for the students. Now, Deku did actually watch as Bakugo Katsuki, he did walk up, and he did just look down at the microphone. So I don't really know what to say here. So let's just try our best and plus ultra. Now, everybody do look around. However, classmates, they really try to cheer on their classmate. Now, Deku did watch that. Bakugo's mind, he clearly has it occupied. So he's probably still caught up on many things. Now, Deku, he did just wonder, watching as the students they do line up for the race. Now, as this actually happened, you have Deku, where his danger sense does actually go off. Deku turning his head and going to spin around. As you looks over down the hallway, he does actually see someone behind the corner. Now, Deku does start walking that direction. As you do, however, he does round the corner and continue to follow where his danger sense is leading him. Now, Deku's running through the hallways of the stadium, and eventually he does find a room, where he does go to walk up towards it and then go to open the door. The moment Deku does go to bring his hand up to the knob, you do actually where he is blasted backwards as his danger sense does go off. And then somebody does actually go to pin him to the wall with a giant hand. Now, the moment that actually does happen, Deku does activate One for All, and go to bring up his hand, is actually going to freeze it and then go to see All for One. It's you. Say so. Who are you? Hmm? Now, all for one does just bring up his hand, as it does elongate and go to grab the face mask and pull the hood off of Deku's face. Now, the moment that actually does happen, all for one he does actually somewhat have his non-existent eyes widen. As you just think, say so? The tone of voice he's saying it in. And then there's that look in him. He looks just like, say so, it's me, Yoshi. Now, all for one's taken aback, as he does someone just go to pull his hand backwards, or the large constructed hand backwards, and go to take a step backwards, as Deku does fall forwards onto the ground onto his knees. Now, Deku is trying to get breath back into his lungs, as all for one to just stand there. How do you know those names? Deku looking up to the man, as is to stand on his feet. Listen to me. It's a long, long story. I'm glad I found you again, though. Listen, we need to talk. Talk about what? Okay, say so. It's very important. I'm back, okay? I don't know what happened, how it happened. I'm alive again, okay? That's all there is to this. Now, we do actually have somebody who did see Deku and follow him. As they're currently hiding around the corner, Deku is nearby. Now, they did actually peek around the corner to watch as Deku is smashed against the wall, before they did actually go to try and call the heroes and then start to hear the conversation. Now, Melissa, I won't hide it anymore, she did actually go to hang up the phone for a second, as she did look around the corner and see exactly what's going on. As you actually have all for one who does at least go to somewhat step forwards, and into the hallway. Now, Deku he does just talk about how him and Say So have a lot to talk about. Listen, I don't know how you know that name, but I told you I'm your brother. My brother? Yes, I know a lot about what happened. Not just about the past, about mom and dad too. Now, all for one does look up at Deku. As Deku, he can't really read the man. Does he seem surprised, perplexed? Does he find an interest in this conversation? Continue. Fine. You want proof that I'm your brother? Here it is. Say so Shigaraki. Born, Deku was saying a year, talking about how this is his birthday, and then this is his. Deku going on with his past life birthday. Now, Melissa, she does hear that date. Wait, that's not possible. That would mean these two are both over 200 years old. Now, let me tell you exactly what happened. Mom and Dad, the moment it was found, both of us, or you actually, not both of us, had quirks. The fact that you could take and give powers to people. It happened during high school. You found it out. You kept it hidden from many people, except from me. The moment you encountered somebody else with a quirk, you stole it by accident. You want to know what the quirk was? Fine. It was what? Deku's saying the name of the quirk, talking about how this is what it could do. Now, off when he's staring at Deku, as Deku does continue on, talking about how after high school, whenever people did find out about his quirk, Mom and Dad were killed. People tried to use them against him. However, he tried to save them, and he failed. This information. Where did you? I told you. I know it. Child. The only person who can know those memories are your dead brother. And I'm him. I know it's crazy. Say so. Listen to me. I was reborn. Now, Melissa does hear that statement. What? Okay. You're not going to believe that last part. But trust me. I remember. And the fact that you're saying you don't shows a lot about what happened to you. Are you still there? Am I talking to say so, or am I talking to All for One? Now, All for One does not just back up slowly, and Deku does read the way the man is moving. From what he can tell, this guy's trying to think about everything. He can't tell what's really there and what's not. Now, Deku just watches All for One. He does just stare at Deku. And Deku, he does actually just look around. As he does actually think he saw something in the corner of his eye. Shit. Now, this is whenever the announcements would go off, announcing that Bakugo Katsuki or Shoto Todoroki, either one, is the winner of the race category. Now, this is what does surprise Deku. Oh fuck, that's already over? Now, Deku does go back to looking down to where All for One was, as the man's disappeared. Now, Deku does just go to walk into the room, as he just look around and find that it's empty. Fuck! I thought I could talk to him, I thought I could convince him. Now, Deku does just walk out of the room. As you do actually have where Deku does go to walk back that direction. Okay, maybe I can at least catch the rest of the sports festa. This being where someone does actually go to bring their hand out and directly in front of Deku. Deku, freezing against Melissa, she does actually come around the corner. So, you mind explaining that? Melissa, what did you hear? Who was that man? He was nobody. I heard everything. Who is All for One? And your birthday? 200, almost what, 300 years ago? How is that possible? You're a... It just doesn't make sense. It sounds crazy. Melissa, I know. But this is why I told you my condition, it's not curable. Your condition? What exactly do you... Melissa's just trying to think. Wait a minute. Exactly how would Deku remember these things? There's no biological component that does connect Deku to that other body. And if that other body is over 200 years old and already dead, there's no way a quirk could do that. Wait. Oh. I see. Do you? Your mind, it's... Yeah, two of them are meshing together and creating whatever I'm turning into. Okay, I get that part, but... Was that your brother? It was. Yoshi kind of popped out for a minute. Okay, but I'm just confused then. You said he's over 200 years old. Yeah, he is. And that mask on his face. Yeah. He was almost killed by All Might. What? Uncle All Might tried to kill somebody? Yeah. He did. And that's why your Uncle All Might has an injury. Where he can't maintain his persona or his large form for very long. What? Yeah, Melissa, it's a lot for you to take in right now. But just please, let me tell All Might about this. Let me tell Yue about this interaction, okay? But I don't understand. I thought he was a villain. If his head was blown off, how is he? I don't know. I don't know. All Might said everything right under his mouth was all that was remaining. His brain, the upper part of his skull, it all should be destroyed from what he's told me. But he's alive. Huh? Yeah, he is. So that means there's a chance you can live. What? Now, Deku does look up at Melissa. As she'll just explain. The fact that a human mind could be shattered the way All Might would have shattered his, considering All Might's considerable strength in his prime, it would be virtually impossible. Unless somebody's studied how to resurrect the dead. Or they or an biological engineer, or biologically modified. What? Okay, continue. Listen, I don't understand it, but you said that the thing at the USJ was a no-mo? You said it was engineered, right? I think so. So, what if the same process happened to him, but he's himself, as far as I'm aware? Yes, but he's still human. Exactly. So, what if we were able to do that to you? What if we were able to look in your head a bit and try to change Deku actually going to run forwards, as he is going to wrap his arms around Melissa, her actually feeling Deku squeeze her tight, as she does somewhat jump a bit before bringing her hands up. Uh, oh, uh, thanks. Hmm? For what? For giving me a bit of hope. Hmm? Now, Deku does quickly let her go, before someone just stepping backwards and saying that he doesn't want to just jump the gun on this. Hmm? I understand that, but I just. I don't want to get my hopes up, okay? Okay. But I'm just saying that I get what you're saying, Melissa, but please. I've already. I don't need. I don't need to get my hopes up for nothing. Now, Melissa, she does actually look at Deku's eyes. He's scared, and his eyes are filling with tears. Deku, from what she does remember, he's okay with dying, as long as he does take out All for One. But this avenue Deku learning about, Deku doesn't want to say the words. He's ecstatic that they thought about it. He's happy that the thought crossed his mind, her mind. Melissa, I'm gonna go back to watching the rest of the sports festival, okay? Deku wiping his eyes. As Melissa, she does just talk about that's alright. Now, we do actually have Deku, who does quickly go walking past her. As Melissa is going to pull out her phone and go to at least start texting her father. As she does talk about how she may have an idea that she can bring to his attention. Now, we will actually cut over to Deku, who, as he's walking through the halls, he does pass by a guy by the name of Shoto Todoroki. And as Deku was passing by the guy, he did actually go to bring up his hood, as he did look away. Now, as Deku and Todoroki did pass one another, Todoroki actually somewhat stopped to pause, before going to turn and directly look at where Deku is. The guy who's heading down the hallway, he's, well, not supposed to be in here, is he? That's strange. The only thing that way would be the announcer's room. Tell me. Shoto opening his mouth. Deku somewhat actually looking up before actually somewhat stopping. Before he does turn around and pause. Yeah? Exactly who are you? Nobody important. I know, but I want your name. That's not going to be possible. Okay. I'll ask you another question. Your face. This is exactly as Baku described it. I'm sorry, who? Don't play dumb with me. I know you're All Might's son. I'm sorry, what? You're the boy from the USJ, am I correct? Okay. Deku just bring up his head and directly having Todoroki see his eyes. I am, yeah. Now, Todoroki does just somewhat start to walk forwards. Exactly why do you have so many quirks? I can't tell you that. Why not? What did your father do to you? My father did nothing to me. I was just born this way. I see. Curious. Who is your father? I'm not telling you that. So it's All Might. It isn't. All Might has nothing to do with me. I'm a special case. And, just so you are aware, I'm sure you've seen me around before, haven't you? I've heard a few things. A girl in my class named Uraka. Apparently you helped her during the entrance exam. Along that you saw her during the first day at UA. Mind explaining why you're at her school, if you're not a student? That's a different matter. You shouldn't worry about that, shouted Todoroki. You know me? I've paid attention. So, leave me alone. And don't think All Might's my dad. That man is not qualified to be a father, just like yours. Now, Todoroki, he does just somewhat actually look at Deku somewhat surprised. And stunned. Wow. He's not wrong, but he just didn't expect that. Now, Deku does just turn back around. As just continue walking. Now, Todoroki, he does just think, okay, that was enlightening. So All Might's kid isn't his kid. He can understand that. He's not Endeavor's son. Now, Deku, yeah. He does get to the announcement room. As whenever Deku does knock on the door, you get Mr. Aizawa, who, him and President Mike, do turn their heads to see him. Deku bring up his hand and just ask Aizawa to come forwards. Now, Aizawa does walk out of the room, and he does meet with Deku. As Deku, he does explain the situation. Now, Aizawa was immediately put on guard. Since All for One popped up here. Now, he was quite surprised, however. There was no commotion, there was no ruckus, there was no fight. From what he understands, the stadium's intact. But there could be damage somewhere. Deku explained to him that there was not. His brother, quote-unquote, just came to at least see who he was. Izuku, are you sure that didn't just put you in danger? No, I'm sure I got through to him somewhere. What do you mean? I think Seiso's still in there. His face has changed. But I don't know. Just trying to read him, he doesn't seem so villainous. He doesn't seem so bad. What's the difference there? I don't know. A villain has things wrong with them. They have screws loose. However, him, it seems like they've been replaced. Replaced? Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but that's just it. I think those personalities are all meshed together, and Seiso's just buried under there. I might have to break through all of them, just to see him one last time. Young man, do you think that would work? Are you sure we couldn't call All Might, call it the sports festival, do a sweep of the area, and he's not here? Whenever I saw him, my danger sense went off. I felt him. I think I can find him. I'm sorry, can you track him? No, it's not that. It's just the feeling I got whenever he and I collided. It was weird. Okay, so what now? Now we wait. I'm sorry. This feeling I got, I could go out. I could try to find it again. Whenever he popped up here, I immediately knew he was here. So if I go out looking for him, young man, that is not a good idea. Mr. Aizawa, it's the only one we got. What happens whenever they decide to attack again? Hmm? Young man, that's not gonna... He popped up here today, alone. The sheer coincidence that he didn't attack was just that. A coincidence. They have a guy with a portal. All they had to do is open it up above the stadium and release more Nomu. If they have any. Mr. Aizawa, I'm not trying to sound like a bad guy here. But you don't know what you're dealing with. I do. I vaguely know anything. You guys know nothing. Now, Aizawa does look at Deku. The boy is getting more emotional. It must be the stress. Young man, you need to go see Recovery Girl. Maybe she can... I'm fine, Aizawa. Just leave me alone for a minute. Tell this to All Might and Nezu, however. This just happened probably 15 minutes ago. I don't feel him nearby, though, so I think we're going to be okay. This festival can continue as normal. Now, Aizawa, he does get to open the door, as Mike does announce that somebody is out, and that the sports festival will continue into the final round. Now, with that being said, we do actually have Deku, who he does go to watch the final match. Now, there actually is where it's Bakugo versus Todoroki. And Todoroki is trying to stay on the offense with his ice, as he's currently blasting as much as he can in that direction. And he's just trying to think. With everything going on and how he met that guy, the guy seemed to be just so strange to him. He doesn't act like All Might, so he's gone through a lot of stuff, hasn't he? So, what is he to All Might? Now, there actually is Bakugo, as he himself is going as much as possible. Over and over again, he's just blasting us with heavy attacks. And we do actually have Todoroki, who he's being worn down, and Deku does see that. Todoroki, his entire right side is basically covered in ice. And at this point, he can barely even go to bring up his hand to blast up ice, since it's too slow. And Bakugo, he's bombarding and rushing through the giant glacier he's created. Now, there actually is one of Bakugo, he does actually get right in front of Todoroki, and he does go to bring up his hand to reach out to grab him. This being where Todoroki, he does actually start to light up his left side, and go to bring up his hand and blast it out of desperation. Now, Bakugo, he does see that, as he is going to bring up or blast his explosion and go to fly backwards, trying to get away from the fire. Now, Bakugo, he does go flying up and onto the glacier, as Todoroki does start to use his flames and blast them immensely all across the stadium. Now, everyone is watching that, Endeavor doing his speech, as Bakugo, he does just look directly at Todoroki. As Bakugo, he does just start to talk about how he is going to get more serious himself. Now, Deku does watch as Bakugo, his explosions, they get harder and harder and stronger. So, this is all sorts of bad. And you do actually have Mr. Aizawa, who does go to stand up, talking about how those two are going to destroy the stadium if they collide. What do you mean? Young Midoriya, you didn't see it during the entrance exam, did you? See what? Bakugo Katsuki, that young man. He himself took down a zero-pointer. What? Yes, his explosions, they're remarkably powerful. Fuck. Now, Deku to just think. While he was in a coma, Bakugo was training, wasn't he? Shit. Okay, this is pretty bad. Now, Deku does watch as Bakugo, he does going to bring up his hands to do an AP shot. No. Todoroki does also go to blast outwards with his left side, as you actually have where the explosion and fire do meet in the air, and flames and stuff do go pouring outwards to the sides and into the stands. Now, many different people, they're starting to try and clean this up. And you do actually have where Samantos and Miss Midnight, they're somewhat called in, as both these two are both on the other side of the ring. Bakugo actually going to shake his arms a certain way to put more sweat down into his palms, as he does just hold his hands in somewhat a ball shape, as if he's cupping for water. Now, Balko does talk about how he's going to end this shitty nerd, or this half and half bastard. Now, Deku just watches Balko, he does start to at least have sparks form on his arms, and Todoroki does at least start to rev up his flames a bit more. Now, Deku does go to activate Fajin, along with one for all, as he does actually go to blast outwards and into the arena, just as the two start to fly towards one another. Now, we do actually have where Balko, he did go to blast out his left hand for an explosion, and Todoroki does go to bring out his right hand to blast flames. As we actually where Deku does suddenly appear in the arena. Deku grabbing Todoroki's left hand with Black Whip and going to push it down to the left and to the right. Deku grabbing Balko's right hand and he does go to push it to the left and away from Todoroki. Now, you do actually have where people they do see him, as the two blasts do go flying into the ground and destroy a lot of area. And you do actually have where the heroes, they do somewhat back down for a second. Now, Balko was quite surprised. Within the span of 3 seconds that all did happen, and all of a sudden he does look up to see, well, a white-haired man, using Deku's quirk, as you can call it. Now, there is actually Todoroki, who does see Deku, as he does just stand there holding both their arms. Enough, you two. Now, everybody's quite surprised, as President Mike just tried to cover this up by talking about how a surprise member of UA staff has intervened. Now, Todoroki does just look at Deku. It's the same guy. He's a member of the UA staff? That's not possible, he's to their age, isn't he? Now, Balko does actually watch Deku just turn his head to look right at him. You, calm down. Now, Balko does just start to go off. What the hell is he doing here? Now, Deku just does do one simple thing. He does quickly go to fly up into the air, as he does realize that intervening right now was probably a bad mistake. Now, there actually is where Mr. Aizawa and President Mike, along with many other members of UA staff, do talk about how right now they are going to be calling it a draw, since that last blast would have definitely caused a lot of damage to the arena, and that for right now, with the current way this battle is going, these two should not be fighting anymore. Now, everybody, they were quite surprised. That mysterious man did just pop up. Who was he? From what they can tell, he used the same quirk as the guy in the USJ incident. He's a member of the UA staff? Now, it's all quite surprising. And UA, they are trying to understand what to do now. The fact that somebody blurted that out there and put it into the open is not too good. However, they might need to roll with this, since it's their best option to remain in the good eyes of the public. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.